All right. Does this work? Hey, it works. Okay, so let's take a look at this POV. Right. So, do we want to set up the config? Let's see. You're in sand stance. Do you have life tap? Is the enemy on low? I won't tag that. Is the enemy ignite? Are you trying to backseat Mini K? What? What did I do wrong? Okay, let's see. He was so quiet, and then I started going through this. He started yapping. Okay, where's endurance charge? Yeah. Okay, let's go with this. Let's see. So, let's look at your gear first. Nebulous is good. You have a 6. Is that a 6% roll? I would definitely try to get a better Nebulous, as your roll is really low. It rolls, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know if POB is showing the correct one, but it rolls from 5 to 10. Highly recommend you try to go for like a 9 or 10. Even if you don't have good implicits, it's a big damage increase. Your shield looks okay. It looks pretty basic. That's fine though. You have triple suffix, which means you have prefix open. I can see because life regen, recover on block, and dexterity are suffix. Maybe you want to bless orbit like 1 or 2 times because the life should be, I don't know if that's 27 to 30 or if it rolls up to 40. Pinnacle might only be 30. You might want to throw an exalt at it and just see if you get like big armor or hybrid life. Don't know if that's worth it. You have an Archdemon helm. This Archdemon has a like T1, T2 fire res roll. It's got conk, it's got burning, it's got +1 area. This is good. I would work on moving into the awakened Archdemon craft. So that's, you can see that on my YouTube. That's when you're basically going to elevate the conk and the burn. So you're going to have a 25 and a 25. And then you do Wild Bristle Matron to roll your prefixes, hoping for +2. And then you can craft life. The reason I say that is you don't need that fire res. I'm looking at your res on the left. So you could set that up. But before that, there's more important things. I'm noticing your max res right now. And this doesn't even have a life roll. So definitely getting a new helmet would be ideal. Your Cloak of Flame looks okay, like nothing really wrong with it. I can see you got the right colors on it. Mini K, stop yapping. Your gloves look solid. Looks like we have regen rate suffix, chaos res suffix, fire res suffix. So that means you have armor and evasion. If you don't have triple prefix on your gloves, I would craft area of effect and area damage. Otherwise, that's fine. Maybe you want to change one of these fire res to fire and chaos to cap your chaos because you're 2% off. Gloves look good though. You can also add some Eldritch Ichor to get a little bit of increased damage. It's not big priority, but the green one can give you increased damage per int or per strength. So it'll be like 6% damage. It's very minor, 6% increase. Your boots have Fractured Fire, good chaos res. They got the onslaught. Your boots have really low life. I would definitely use the tree to try to recraft boots, only because fire res is not super important here. You're doing a good job, but your res is giga overcapped, so it's okay. You also would rather have increased life regen rate over flat regen, so your boots definitely could be targeted to be much better. Your amulet looks okay, but it has no dot multi. I would try to look for dot multi on an amulet. Dot multi looks like this, for example. If you look at my current amulet, it has like the 23 damage over time multi. That's really important. Those are really annoying to craft. In Trade League, I would honestly just buy one. Why does it look like this? I have no idea. Can you fix, please? No? Okay, well, we're just gonna... Sure. Okay, Amethyst Ring. Honestly, looks okay. I try to get a higher life roll, but looks okay. Your other Amethyst Ring, much better. Bigger life roll, has dexterity roll. That's pretty good. Instead of that prefix, you could craft increased damage. Gives a little... You have a Headhunter. I cannot comment on the Headhunter exactly. If you enjoy using it, it definitely helps you blast maps faster. It's a bit of an odd item though. You could sell it and make your character stronger and just use like an Immortal Flesh. If you like your Headhunter, keep using it. It's not necessarily good for RF, but it does speed up mapping. Now, looking at your jewels. That's illegal. You can't use this. The problem with Cremator is you cannot ignite Proliv. So this Cremator node right here is actually disabling this ignite spread. So you need to get rid of that right away. Also, I'm not sure what's going on here. This looks a bit weird. So what I would personally recommend here, I'm going to fix your build for you. So you're 119 points. So here's what I would do. Step 1, I would chop off this if you need points, and I would get a better Nebulous, because the increased damage here is very minor when you have Nebulous, because Nebulous gives 450 LE. So this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 points. With these 4 points, what we could do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to craft a large cluster jewel. So just type in cluster jewel and we're going to do large. We're going to go create. We want to select fire damage, and you can pick any 2 notables. It does not matter as long as Cremator is not in the front. So I'll just do like Prismatic Heart and say widespread destruction, add. Then I'm going to remove this for our large cluster. Okay, and you can see there's widespread and prismatic is in the back. I like prismatic more than widespread. This gives some AoE. The only thing I would change here, Mini K, stop yapping. I know it's not 8 passive. I'm fixing it right now. Okay, backseating cat is here. What you want to make sure is that it's 8 passive and not 12. 12 is very bad. So you want to make sure you have 8 passive. By having an 8 passive, it's going to basically shorten. See, now he's happy. He's back here and he's happy now. Okay. So what the 8 passive is going to do for you is it's going to make it so you spend less points to access the jewel sockets. So initially your build was 119 points. We have now accessed 2 extra jewel sockets for 3 less points because, well, I guess because we dropped these, so it's actually 1 more point. But the reason I'm talking about this is because your res here is not capped. Increasing your max res is not only going to increase your survivability against elemental damage, it is also going to increase your regen, your net regeneration. Your net regeneration is 500 right now. It increases net regen because you take less damage from RF, and it's going to increase your damage because of Nebulous. So it's like a triple. So to do this, what I would do is if you're in Trade League, you just buy jewels. It doesn't matter what base with maximum fire res. You can actually pick any res you want, and you can use Harvest Bench. If you come over here and you do like fire resistance, you can swap lightning res to fire res, cold res to fire res, and you can actually switch the max res. Max res only has 1 tier, which means it rolls 1 to 2. So even if you buy a 1 jewel, you can swap the res around and still make it 2. So you have to pay attention to that if you're trying to get cheap deals on trade. So just look for fire res and honestly just life. Right? Just get something simple like this. You don't have to go big. Use 2 of those, add them to the build. Watch the net regen. It's 468. Okay, 468 goes to 640. So the net regen goes up. Your damage goes up from Nebulous. Your HP is going to go up. And these should not be that expensive. Now, there is an alternative way to achieve this, depending on what you want to do. Now, let me look at your auras. So you're running Tempest Shield, Skitterbot, Unbound Ailments, Purity of Fire. There should be a Flesh and Stone somewhere, right? Did I miss a Flesh and Stone? Ah, there's the Flesh and Stone. So this means you're ongoing block-based. So, because you're ongoing block-based, I'm going to just do a little test here. I want to say that you need to take this and this to get 1 max res. Okay, you do. So that doesn't actually help. I only say this because I'm gonna simulate an alternate way for you to do things, right? You're on full life mastery setup, so you don't have much wiggle room with points, right? And this is actually good because you're using Red Dream. I know your HP is normally higher. You can also afford to tattoo a few more. You could tattoo this strength node and that strength node, and you're going to get bonus life off the tattoos. This should hit that too. Now, one alternate way I was going to show you, which is not relevant for you, but I think it's good for other players to understand, especially in SSF, is when you have a level 20 to 22 purity. So you currently have a purity of fire that is level 20, right? What you can do is you can take this node and this node. So basically taking the 10% effect with this will round purity of fire to give 1 extra max res. And then what you can do is on your boots, you can actually roll 1 max fire res. Like this. And then that way, you can save out if you don't have a good 2 passive or a 2 max fire res jewel in SSF. So that's another way to achieve the 90 max res. Because you can see here, I have the boots with 1 max fire. And then over here, I take this setup. So I get the 10% effect. So I get the 90 max res without needing the extra jewel, right? It doesn't mean it's better. It's just an alternative way in SSF to progress, which is like a nice way to do it. I want to say, other than that, I'm pretty happy with your character. Everything other than that looks pretty much okay. Gems, let me take a look at the gems. Gems look okay. Oh, here's one. Here's one. Let me see if you have a level 1 Frostblink and Shield. Wait a minute. Okay, good. Level 1. Okay, good, good. You have the level 1 life tap with the Frostblink. What you can even do is you can get a level 1 20 quality if you care. It just makes the duration longer. I'd also vendor your faster attacks because it'll make it, you want to flip it, so you vendor it with the GCP. It'll be level 1 at 20 quality, which will just get you some more attack speed later. This looks okay. Good job on the 21 fire trap. Punishment's fine. You're actually running Ink AoE. You don't need to run this. If you would prefer, you could run Hex Bloom. Hex Bloom will make it so your... Okay. Hex Bloom will proliferate your curse for you, which is pretty nice. It does cause some lag sometimes, so be a little careful. There is one more thing I wanted to talk about, and my brain forgot. I don't remember. This looks good. There was something, but I don't remember what it was. That jewel should be replaced for dot multi. Increased damage does not help as much when you have Nebulous. So I would highly recommend looking for a damage over time multiplier with life / fire damage over time multiplier with life. I would also replace this one as its double increase. Life multi will just be superior. And you have full life mastery, I'm assuming, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have full life mastery. Good. Yeah, that's what I would do. Oh, I was gonna check your dexterity because your dexterity is giga high, but you're not spec'ing a dexterity anywhere, so that's fine. Yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy. You could even save 1 skill point, by the way. You could, instead of running something like this, you could just look for a life jewel corrupted with CB immune, so corrupted blood immune, and then you could remove this and you would basically lose like no damage. The increase is really minor, and then that would allow you to like get AoE if you want for 2 points, for example. Shield had Dex Benchcraft. Oh yeah, so you don't need Dex, I'm pretty sure, because you're 133. You only need 111 dexterity for Swift Affliction. You need a little more if you have... You need a little more in for Awakened Swift Affliction, but that's like a different thing. I'm gonna go ahead and send this back to you. I hope you enjoyed, friend. There you go.